Welcome back to Chiefs fans before we were cool. We have a guest with us today. You want to say anything about that, Eric?
Um, yeah, brother. Well, basically what happened was uh my wife told me that we needed my brother on because he's going to bring the humor out of us.
Hmm.
I think the funny thing is that full disclosure, she doesn't watch our podcast. So, but somehow he was like, I know. I was like, how do you know? And she's like,
I,
just
I
you should
just
have it
know.
on.
He just
You
makes
just
the
know.
humor ooze out of you, secrete
That's
from your.
true. I mean, she has seen Chris and I in the same room a bit. So
Yeah.
At
she
least
knows
once or
how.
twice.
Actually, though, no offense to Chris, but I was talking about the other guest we have on the bed behind you.
Oh,
That's my beautiful kitty, Lulu.
Hi,
She's
Lulu.
she is quite legitimately probably the best cat I've ever owned.
Is she a
So
well,
Chiefs
it's
fan?
between her and the crazy one.
That was named
I
after me.
mean, I'm just saying, growing up, like I guess I don't know.
Oh
The
wait,
cats that like I really remember well, she's she's the best.
is she a
She's
Chiefs
just good with
fan?
my kids. I don't know if
That's
she's a Chiefs fan. She's a Crunchies fan.
Okay, okay.
Definitely a Crunchies fan.
Crunchy Chiefs.
The Crunchy Chiefs. Now my daughter Addie is a Chiefs fan. She gets excited when the Chiefs game is on.
That's
She's
good.
3.
That's good. You're raising them
So
right.
Right. Train them young.
mhm, that's
Train them
right.
young. Isaac uh, gets excited when there's any sort of TV on because he's one, so we don't show him screens. So over Thanksgiving, we have a picture of him like going to the football game and just like staring at like, what is this? And then he, through, then he left and he did other things like climb upstairs, which apparently was more interesting than the football game to him. So I'm pretty
Yeah.
happy about that. At 1 year old, he's not addicted to media. Um,
It's good.
but I still haven't completely trained him to be a Chiefs fan like Chris has trained
Addie.
Addie.
Addie will randomly start the Chiefs chant. She'll just like randomly she'll be like, oh, and we're like, we're just in a van. I don't know what's going on, but
You should be proud.
I am very much so.
All your other accomplishments as a father up until this point, meaningless. That
Yeah.
that's the important one.
That's so great.
Nora
Awesome.
tries. My 6-year-old Nora tries, but she's mostly does it because she wants to be a part of everybody else being a Chiefs fan. I don't think she cares at all for the
She's a
game as
bandwagon
a whole.
fan.
Yeah, sure
Yeah.
is.
I think she cares. Um, Second Chris. Here you go. I'm sending him a link to
Are we
the
gonna let him?
memes.
Yeah, you can be part of the memes. Do you wanna?
Oh, thank you.
Should we let him
Why don't we
read the
have
memes
Chris read
today?
the memes this time?
That actually will be better. It'll be safer for Chris to read them.
I'll have to have access and stuff. Are you sure you want to mess with all this
Oh
right now?
yeah, I can do that real fast.
Okay.
Although I have to know your email address to do that, so that's a
I
little
just
awkward.
requested access, so hopefully it sends
Okay.
that to you.
Yep, it should get here in just a second. Yep, I see it here. Yeah,
Stranger
I would have
danger.
given you access ahead of time, but it was supposed to be a surprise. I think that you were coming, and then I saw the invite. You joined, and then you like panic left.
Well, so Eric first of all sent me the link, and so I was like, oh, I saw the link, so I clicked it, and then he types, but by the time it got here, it was too late. It said join at 9, and so
And now it's
Yeah.
9, and we're about to read memes.
there
So
you go.
perfect time, Chris.
All
Yeah.
right,
Perfect.
I did. I gave you access, so you should be good.
You'll get an email letting you know if your request was approved.
Just reload it.
Reload it. Okay,
Reload it at all.
there we go. All right, now I'm ready.
All right. go on to the first one and
No, the memes will show up. He'll add them later, so you can just read
Okay.
them, respond to them.
If you are having a bad mouth, just remember there's always someone with it worse.
yep, that was a
Uh,
typo on my part. I was trying to
I'm
say
guessing
month,
you meant
but
month.
yeah,
Yeah, that
yeah,
makes
I
a lot
was
more sense.
doing it real quick. So bad month is what it's supposed to say, but
That's, I mean,
You know, I mean, it did like maybe bounce off his face. You know,
yeah,
thanks for trying to make me feel better.
yeah.
Appreciate that.
My chat group was talking, and so we were like, after that Tony ordeal this last game, one of my friends was like, "Man, that was terrible." And then one of my, like, they were talking back and forth, and one of my other friends was like, "I'm not caught up yet, but I'm already upset." Like, he was watching the game behind, and he's like, "Yeah, it was pretty bad. Don't have your remote in your hand, or else you might throw it at your TV or something like that." And he's like, "The only way I'd be surprised at this point is if he threw it to the other team and then flipped off his teammates." And then once it got to the point, he's like, "Oh well, I guess he didn't flip off his teammates, but the other part was just about right."
Yeah, yeah. True, true.
you know those. Otherwise, it's if it's not about month, it's a very strange thing to be critical of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Of all things you could criticize KT about, I mean, the mouth seems kind of
yeah, yeah. I get the L on that one. So
less important.
let's go to the next one.
All right.
I just want to talk about bad mouths the rest of this podcast. Like
Dak Prescott with the #1 seed and MVP award on the line, and he's asleep.
the sleep number.
So I didn't know you'd be reading these as opposed to Eric, and I've avoided doing many Cowboys memes because of Eric's location. But I asked Hannah, and I said, "Should I do them? There's a couple of good ones, but it might get him in trouble." And she said, "Do it." So,
Get him in trouble.
uh,
Yeah,
this
man,
next one
that
is
was a
kind
rough
of
game.
was a rough game. This next one's kind of funny because I got it from a meme page, and I saw when I was taking it that you've actually liked this one before, Chris. So
Wait, I've liked this one
yeah,
before?
it said your friend, Chris has liked this
Oh,
post.
that's weird. Uh, Girls can love Ryan Gosling all they want, but don't forget that he was an absolute liability at cornerback and Remember the Titans. I I don't remember this at all, so I don't know how I liked it, but that's
Huh.
impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I only ever saw that movie once. It's been a while.
Yeah. It was just kind of funny. I've seen it for a few times, like this meme, and it was just like, not a lot of great Chiefs memes this week, so I threw that one in for us, just football related.
All right. Cowboys fans be like, how about them?
Pray for Eric.
I
Yeah,
mean, I do think it's kind of. I love Andy Reid. I do think he's kind of lame that he's like, just like taking over. They're like, we're America's team now. So it's like, how about them? Jeez.
Yeah.
that's right.
I was like, we should have found our own tag. Like, we're gonna be a dynasty. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we don't need to borrow Cowboys dynasty lingo.
Hey, just saying. I mean, and legitimately, some of it's just the Taylor Swift thing, but we might be not even the America's team. We might be the international team for a while
Yeah.
until they break up.
Hey, don't be so negative.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. Somebody check his temperature. Live look at Jalen Hurts and his flu game. Oh,
Yeah, that was. I mean, we did have the flu game with Mahomes, and
Yeah.
it wasn't great for us either.
Yeah.
So
That's why I call that the flu game.
ah,
no, that's a terrible joke. All right. Andrew Reid explaining why he hasn't demoted Kadarius Toney to the practice squad. Yeah, Yeah.
Joel, our pep talk failed.
Our pep talk failed. Maybe he's behind. Maybe he hadn't listened yet.
Yeah, we still love you, KT, as a person.
Just not a football player. Oh, sorry, that's me.
It's
I
me.
had forgotten until saw it again this week that he was the receiver that the ball hit in the hands that led to the pick six in week one. I had
Oh.
blocked that out of my memory, and
Mhm.
then I was like, oh gosh. So
Yeah.
anyway,
This one was
What
even
what are you
worse, I
feeling
feel
about
like.
KT? Do we drop him? Did he just be benched?
yeah, I saw somebody say that
Brother?
basically he should just be played at the running back position. You know, like he could do screens, he could do like jet sweep kind of things, um, like Hardman's done in the past,
Yeah.
but basically don't have him
Yeah.
line up as a receiver. Which I don't know. That's
That would
Yeah.
be that would be a decision. I mean, like make him earn it back, I guess. I don't know.
yeah. But Sky Moore's
Yeah.
out for the rest of the season.
Oh,
Oh,
really? I
I
hadn't seen
missed
that.
that.
Yeah, he was placed on the IR. So I don't know if they're hopeful that he might come back for the playoffs, but he's out for the season. Obviously, hopefully he recovers soon, but it just
Yeah.
means who's gonna be in that slot now, you know. But
Yeah,
anyway,
I guess we have Justin Ross back now,
yeah.
but that's wow. That's I mean, I don't know. He hasn't been doing great
Sign
either.
Zach Ertz and just have Kelsey, Gray, and Ertz on every snap, and Rice, obviously, it goes without saying. And they'll just be like, they don't know what to do. So
Yeah.
anyway, do we have some
Yeah.
live wonders of
The ghost of Zach Ertz
the
will come
ghost?
and haunt Rise again.
Yeah.
I have a
Like
couple live.
Phoenix from the
Yeah, I
Or-
think, man, we just don't have receivers. I think you have to keep Tony. I don't think there's any way you can get rid of him.
Yeah.
I don't think he makes it through the offseason, though. I mean, I would be
Yeah.
critical of them if they did.
And I don't think there's any reason that, you know, if you demote him to the practice squad, someone's gonna pick him up just to try to get insights into the Chiefs playbook or whatever. Um, and so there's no point in doing it during the season. It's kind of like how I feel like when a team that's tanking, like after week 10, they like fire their coach. You're like, whoever comes next doesn't have a chance of really having a good season, you know, but
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I mean, it does. What I'm always surprised at like teams like that don't keep the interim coach,
yeah,
even if the interim, because a lot of times the team will come back together. The interim coach will do well. Now, I don't know if they would do well for a whole season or if their new
yeah.
scheme kind of throws other teams off or something. But like it seems kind of weird that they would go hire somebody who just failed revitalizing a different franchise instead of the guy that everybody in the locker room knows and trusts and likes. You know,
Remember when Chip Kelly was gonna change football and people were like, well, NFL coaches be able to handle his offense. So
I don't
good
really remember
times.
that, but
I don't
right.
remember that at all. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, it didn't happen, right? Yeah, it didn't. Anyway, let's go to Brother Wonders because I'm showing my
Okay.
Brother
age.
Wonders. So I'm gonna still ask the questions. So brother
Okay.
can answer his own questions.
Ooh, smart.
So that's my job. Don't try to steal it from me. Even if my wife told me that I need you to be funny.
Hey, she
Right.
didn't say that he's funnier. He just brings out you're funny. So
Yeah, she
I
didn't have to.
I told Eric that what she's really trying to say is he's boring. You're boring.
Uh, maybe just a little bit. Just a little bit. So how concerned are you with Travis's ankle? It seems like it's been bothering him.
you want to go first,
Me?
Chris? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, I mean, I think it's all kind of in my mind lumps into the whole like I think it's I know he gets doubled a lot, but I also think just eye test. Kelsey's definitely kind of been like slowed down some this year. Hasn't been quite as dominant. Has missed more catches than he usually does, and he gets doubled a lot, and I get that, but I do think that he's he's pretty old for playing football. It's hard on you, you know. I have friends who just played high school sports, and they have knees that hurt and stuff like that. Like, and they're 30, you know, like playing all the way through high school, college, professional. It's hard on you. So, I think he is slowing down a little bit. I still think he's, you know, he's still obviously top tier, you know, top three for sure. He even made top one uh tight end. But before it was like it wasn't like one, two, three. It was like one is like this whole tier on his like he was on his tier on his own, and then you know the other top tight ends were their own tier. I feel like they're all like the top tight ends are on his tier now, even if he's the best of them. So I don't know. Some of that might be the ankle.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about the ankle so much because I just think the bigger issue is until people step up and we start punishing teams for doing it. But I love that shot we took early where we hit Gray on a real big chunk play early because everybody bites on Kelsey. If we can punish teams for that, and I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire has shown that he can be involved in the pass game. I actually read something that during practice this week, he told Mahomes, "Hey, if you throw me the ball, I won't drop it." And so like if you get him involved, but also having Pacheco and then Rice emerging as a threat, like if you just punish teams for double or tripling Kelsey, like of course he's gonna have a worse season. And I think he's a little bit slower because of injuries, but I also just think like teams double him a lot, and sometimes he still manages to make big plays. And okay, let me just say this here because it was since we're talking about Kelsey, the announcers were talking about how they thought that hold on Rice during that overturned interception was kind of bogus, right? But then they were like, Kelsey did some acting on this play in the end zone. It's like Kelsey was literally shoved over and they didn't throw a flag, right? Like, okay, yeah, he could have had the catch before that or whatever, but like, it's like, man, I just had to get my sense out there that they're like, you can't be like, this shouldn't have been called, but also be like, this was a good no call on Kelsey. Like it was like he was literally pushed over before the ball got there. Anyway, that's all for me for that.
Uh,
I have feelings.
yeah, I would agree in the sense that I think it has more to do with the weak supporting cast. Yes, he's going to decline. I don't think he's declined as much as the stats would assume. I mean, drop passes like that's kind of fluky. It's kind of like a lot of things statistically. Even if you're generally a good receiver, you might have a stretch of games or even a season where you drop. Because it doesn't happen a whole lot. Like we talk about all these drops. Like I don't know how many Rasheed Rice has, but it's like 8 or like I mean, it's not like he's even dropping one a game.
Yeah.
So he's dropped more than he has in the past, but I think it's probably more of a fluky thing as far as that is. He is probably slower, but what makes Kelsey good is his understanding of zone. He hasn't really been beating people completely by athleticism for a while now. I think probably in 5 years or so. That he's totally dominating with athleticism. Now it's kind of like if you think of like how Tom Brady played so late, it was just because he got really good at understanding and all the different coverages and what he needed to do to throw. And now a quarterback's a little different. But I think it's more what's valuable there.
Yeah. One thing I kind of like to say is like, to when your team doesn't have a lot of weapons, the number one weapon can sometimes get enough attention that they don't seem as good as they are, and I think Kelsey's obviously one of the great. I think he's the greatest ever played tight end, in my opinion. I'm not biased or anything, but it's kind of like, like Jacoby Myers for the
Myers.
Myers for the Raiders, right? He's had a few games where he has bigger games than Devonte Adams, but I don't think anybody would say he is a better receiver than Devonte Adams, right? It's just like this season, for instance, when playing the Chiefs, the number 2 receiver tends to be doing better because whoever Snead is on doesn't get a lot of work, right? And that's just until we can find ways to beat people without Kelsey, he's not going to get his monster games. But
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, this is just a yes or no question. So
Okay, so I
Joel, I
shouldn't
want you to give
ramble.
a yes or no answer.
Okay. Oh, this is
Would
gonna
you
be
ever
bad.
buy a jersey because they were dating a music artist you like?
Say that one more time.
Would you ever buy a jersey because they were dating a music artist you
It's like
like?
buy the player's jersey because they're
Yes.
dating a music artist that I like.
So think of your favorite musician dating a football player from probably a different, not a Chiefs player.
Oh yeah. Um, I'll say no.
Probably not. Yeah, I would say no. Yeah, I would say no as well. I've only bought one Chiefs. Like it took me forever to buy a Chiefs jersey, like from any Chiefs player. So probably not gonna do
Yeah.
that. But here, I'm actually more tempted by this one. Would you ever buy a shirt that says "Go Kelsey's girlfriend" with a picture of Taylor Swift on it?
Probably mostly just to humor my wife. But to be honest, I've never been one of the person who wants to do like the custom jerseys, but I really want to get two now. One that says Maato, and then with 87, and then one with 15 that says Kelsey, how much you can save. So, um, no,
Love it. I
no,
would probably, I wouldn't buy it just because I would only wear it a couple times probably, but I would like theoretically get it for like some weird event or to just mess with my
yeah.
students because a lot of them are Swifties.
I don't know if I
So
told you
that
this,
would be
but
pretty funny.
like, well, like I would maybe, if like someone my wife really like Taylor Swift, if like let's say she hadn't dated Kelsey, if she dated another Chiefs player, even if it wasn't like a Chiefs player that I like loved as much, I might get their jersey. But we went to go see the when they Taylor Swift's tour, was playing in the movie theaters. And this was after they started dating. So the best part was I wore my Kelsey jersey and I was dressed appropriately for the Taylor Swift concert. So
That's
that was pretty
fantastic.
fun.
Who are your top picks for MVP? And do you think the MVP should primarily be a quarterback award? Should they change that? You kind of answered this last week.
Chris, you wanna say anything first?
I mean, I'm the one who posed the question. I have plenty of thoughts. Why don't you go
Okay.
first?
Obviously, it traditionally is a quarterback. Um, After this week, okay, so if it's a quarterback, if the season ended today, it would be Lamar, in my opinion, would be the person who deserves it. But I think you can make as good of a case or a better case for Tyreek Hill doing it, even if I don't like how much he runs his mouth. Um, Also, like Brock Purdy's been playing really well, but I think you could make the case that McCaffrey deserves MVP if anyone on that team does. Um, and so, yeah, I'd say it tends to be a quarterback award, but I think this could be a year where someone else could do it. Now, there's a chance Tua wins it just because he has incredible stats, but again, like Tyreek Hill breaks the I don't know how far he is from the all-time receiving record in a season now, but he's probably going to break it with more than a game left. Like, it's not going to be he breaks it just because he plays more games. Um, so yeah, I'd say I honestly think it should be Hill or McCaffrey, and then maybe Lamar number three with how things are playing right now, in my opinion.
Your thoughts, brother?
Yeah. So I think my problem. I feel like it is hard to give it to a non-quarterback just because of like what it is, like the most valuable player. Because I've looked up some statistics and stuff, and um, if they're like so like like if you have a top five quarterback, your wins over like replacement, so like say you get a backup quarterback or whatever, it's like 4.5 wins. You're probably gonna win 4.5 more games in a season by going from like or whatever above replacement. So maybe that's average or maybe that's replacement. Or let's like backup. But um but like receivers, like even like Devonte Adams when he hit the free agency, like his wins above replacement was like 1.8 like I don't even think it was 1 actually. I think it was like 0.8. Like it's basically you're expected to win basically like one more game if you have him versus somebody else. And it was like it's just the quarterback position just matters so much more. So it's hard if they are going to actually call it like the most valuable player. Like it's usually going to be a quarterback. I kind of wish they would have like a quarterback award and then also have like a um like a I mean we kind of do with offensive player of the year or whatever, but um
Is it kind
I
of
don't
funny
know.
to you
It
though
makes it kind of
that
tricky.
is it kind of funny to you though that like you can win most valuable player, but then you don't win offensive player? Like
Yeah.
like obviously they don't give the award to the same people, right? But it's like if you're the most valuable, shouldn't you also be the most the best offensive player? But anyway.
Yeah, I just think if you gave like a, I don't know what you would call it, like could even just call it like a Tom Brady award at this point or something, but like just the quarterback who did the best this year, and then the have like um, the most outstanding player or someone, and then it could be like how much above their peers, I guess, the other people playing their position it is, rather than just how valuable you are to the team.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't give you any examples. Honestly, yeah, I don't think I'd give it to Purdy. I think that you can. I don't even think I I couldn't put him in the top 5 for quarterbacks even this year. Like, yes, all of his like team stats are like amazing, but they're team stats. Um, and I don't know, probably like Lamar is a good choice. Honestly, I think like Josh Allen's got kind of unlucky with a lot of his interceptions. I think he's played really well, but their team's lost too much, so he'll never get it.
Yeah.
Um,
When the
but then
Eagles and
also
the
like,
Cowboys have lost some game, I think losses near the end of the season hurt more
yeah, they do.
for that.
Um, so, what about you, Eric?
Yeah. I mean, I honestly I'm most impressed this year with Tyreek and McCaffrey. Like I just like as far as again, like most outstanding, sure, whatever you want to call it. I think that's true because I just don't think any quarterback has really distanced themselves from the
Mm.
other quarterbacks. Again, it depends on how you think about it, and what you're saying makes a lot of sense. But anyway,
Can I ask you a
all
question,
right.
Eric, real quick?
Let's
I would just relate to
yeah.
that. If let's say if Tyreek wins MVP, then do you think the automatic thing that should happen next is the other one wins Offensive Player of the Year? Like, because they both have had great
Um,
seasons, or how
like
it, like if
yeah, yeah.
you,
I'd probably
okay,
give one of them offensive player of the year and one most valuable.
okay,
Um, but anyway, kind of hard. It is a hard thing to gauge. And yeah, let's go. Let's talk about the game
all right,
a
yeah,
little bit. We beat the Patriots. We were supposed to beat the Patriots. Good job, Chiefs.
yep. I felt pretty good about the game. It ended up being a 10-point game, but it was a 10-point game off of a fluky interception, right? Um, and like we could have put up more points at the end if we needed to because we were in scoring position. So like obviously the first half was close. The second half was all us, and the scoreboard didn't tell really how much of a dominant performance it was in the second half. Obviously, a couple of bad turnovers. Um, but yeah, I thought it was for being a team that's such a strong defense, it was a solid game for the Chiefs, in my opinion.
Sure.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I feel quite as good about it as you. I mean, the Patriots have like 3 wins this year, so I was kind of, I guess, hoping for a bit more. I understand that you're right, like it's a turnover and stuff, um, but yeah, I mean that's part of it. That's been some of our problems is turnovers that have happened, and so yeah, I didn't feel bad about it though. I felt like we won. We won pretty like soundly without really any question. Like there's never like the first quarter, I guess, is the only time where it was kind of like close in my mind, and then kind of ran away with it a little bit. Um, so it's a good win, but I would have liked to to see more from
You
playing.
wanted like a win against the Bears,
Yeah,
like
I mean, yeah, like I
yeah,
said, 3 wins is pretty. They're not a great team this year, so
yeah, yeah.
But it's not like their defense is awful. Like they've
yeah,
lost because they haven't scored like any points. Like they're the first team to lose against teams who scored like less than 10 points, like multiple
Yeah.
weeks, something. Um, so 27 points against them, giving up 17, like, you know, maybe should have been less, but um, anyway, that's fine.
And
But yeah, no, it is something we have things to work on, and I think we have things to work on. We needed to get better. Our receivers, KT needs to stop dropping it, or we need to drop him, or something.
he needs to catch it like it's hot, not drop it
Catch
like
it,
it's hot.
catch it
yeah.
like it's hot. Catch the football like it's hot. Yeah, like have some urgency there and keep developing. And so I was happy that things kind of got on the right track. The KT drop that turned into an interception. Again, it's like, no, we can't. We got to stop doing it. But maybe that helps us start playing other receivers more.
Yeah. Well, and I think
And
there's an element of the game, right, where just a win was important. Like obviously you want to see the offense clicking better, and it was better than it has been some this year. But like to get a win after 2 losses in a row is just really important.
Yeah.
yeah, so we'll see how. I mean, we're playing the Raiders, so I don't
Hopefully,
know.
hopefully we don't give up 60 points to them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not really worried about that.
I did walk by some folding tables today, and
Did you jump through them?
He didn't
didn't
have
jump
to.
through them.
He didn't have to.
Almost didn't have to. Almost
Um,
bought one. I'll have to. I'm kind of curious. I'll probably go ask. I know someone who's a Patriots fan. Like what it's like to be a Patriots fan now. After being so good for so long, and just now having been a few years removed from that, and just being like so far
it's like
away,
the Chiefs.
seemingly so far away from.
The Chiefs are the anti-Patriots. They were bad for so long, and now they're good. Like it's
Well, the
Yeah, we've.
Patriots weren't good for a long time before they were good too. So
that's true. Um, one thing that was really fun to see, obviously really glad that Pacheco is likely to play on Christmas. It's fun we're getting a Christmas Day game.
Pacheco.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's glad that he's gonna be back, but honestly, Edwards-Helaire played a heck of a game. That
I
was the best screen pass I've ever seen in my life, probably. Like, there's no one
I
around
was
him.
less impressed with that. It was super open. Like that screen
Yeah,
pass was just well blocked. But that catch, man,
yeah,
I told the people I was watching with, I was like, dude, why aren't we making him a receiver? Like
yeah,
change him from running back to receiver. He can catch the ball apparently.
yeah,
So we'll make him a receiver. Well, Tony can be the running back, and it'll all work out.
yeah,
That's very funny. That could
yeah.
be the running back.
It's really good that
Edwards.
after if the report's true that he was like, throw it to me, I won't drop it, that he made that really good catch in the end zone. And he's not tall for a football player. So he got up there and he
And that was a big strength. That's part of why we drafted him in the first round, was because he was a good receiver out of college. We haven't utilized that maybe the way we could, but like yeah, he can catch it.
yeah.
Uh and this year we'll take any warm body that can catch a football.
There's a janitor for the Chiefs that can catch the football,
You know,
Give that guy a
Um,
uniform.
maybe
One
he
that,
can date my favorite artist, and I can get his jersey.
perfect. I'll just say janitor on the back.
He
What
became one because that was his last name.
one thing we didn't talk about was Rice. Rice had a great game. He had a really good game. I felt like he was getting open. He was making yards after the catch. He wasn't dropping it. He was where he should be.
Yeah,
That was probably the most encouraging part of the game, that he got played more and he stepped up to the position.
yeah, yeah. Two things about that. First, Chris, welcome to trying to get not last place with me this week in fantasy. So I say that because obviously don't follow my fantasy advice, but there's a part of me that thinks, like, our league is 2 keepers. There's a part of me that thinks Rice might be a better keeper for next year than Devontae Adams, because I think he's going to continue to build on his chemistry. The Raiders quarterback room is not looking favorable for Devontae Adams since the bye week. Rice has been scoring better than Adams. So I don't know. It might be crazy. That's probably just the loyal Chiefs fan in me, but I'll trade you Adams for a draft
Dude,
pick after the season. So
if you're in the league with if you're in the league with a bunch of Chiefs fans, I feel like it's worth it
yeah,
for sure. Wife has like the corner on the Chiefs market with
yeah,
Checo, Travis
Yeah.
Kelsey, and Patrick Mahomes. So
yeah.
honestly, I feel like she should be selling them off now.
Oh man, yeah, maybe I can trade for
Accumulate
Pacheco
all the
because
picks.
she'll keep Mahomes and Kelsey. So yeah.
So fun.
Mm.
Anyway, just play for fun, get the players you want. But yeah, have fun playing for last place. I didn't achieve my goal. I wanted to score more than every other person in the playoffs. Uh, because I really liked my team this year and I didn't. Um, but I should have played James Cook. Oh well,
Yeah. No
Yep.
kidding. He looks like a beast this last
he
week.
was a beast. So anyway,
Yeah.
hypothetically, I'll just view it as I could have beaten Matt, and then I would have been the 4th seed, and I would have won, and then maybe won this. No, it's okay. I'm
Yeah.
still in my other league finals, so we'll see how we go. But that team has lost like 3 of its starters and a lot of players, so it's all
Yeah.
Can you
kind of
do?
Yeah.
chance anyway, though. So we'll see.
So fun. We get to watch a game on Christmas this year. If we win,
Yeah.
we also clinch the AFC West. So um, if we win or if we tie and the Broncos lose, we clinch AFC West. So uh,
Hey,
lots of
hey, we
things.
could we could consider doing a Chiefs fans before we were cool watch party.
That's true. All right, we're recording again, so I can just crop this part out. I'll do like that.
Just like that. I love it.
That's what we're gonna do the Raiders this week.
Yeah.
Karate chop him.
Yep. Yep.
Chop them through a table.
Yeah.
There you go.
Addy style.
I
Oh,
I I swear I don't know if this is true. It's really suspicious. That whole so last week Brandon Staley made some comment about like, hey, we're at least playing them close, like you're not going to win them all. We have lost a little too many, but we're keeping them close. And then and then the next week they get just crushed. And someone was talking about like all the players just decided, is that what it's going to take? Are we to get rid of this coach is just lose by 1 million? We can do that. Because no one was playing good. I mean, there
Yeah.
was so many blown coverages and
Yeah.
just crappy play all around. I don't know.
Yeah. Mm.
well, we'll see. But anyway, yeah, maybe Chiefs watch party. We'll see. We'll keep everybody updated
Yep.
for Christmas. That could be kind of a fun special thing we do. I always enjoy getting to watch the games from Kansas with a lot of other fans because I don't get to do that very much. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Where are you gonna be, Joel, for Christmas?
Just here in Northern Virginia.
Should have come
So
back to Kansas. We could have
yep.
all watched it in person together.
Yeah, there's this thing that makes hard is distance, and then I only have a limited amount of vacation time, which I have used all of. So
Um,
Get your priorities straight.
hey, we did go up and watch the Chiefs when they played in New York, so you know.
It's true.
Well, this was fun. I felt funnier tonight. So
I feel like it was just drawn out of me like
yeah.
a
I
vampire.
I'm like just the ultimate support, I'm not funny on my own. I just make other people funny.
He just sucks the fun out of you. Eric said like a vampire, so he's a fun vampire.
Uh, at least I don't sparkle in the sun or whatever.
Yeah.
good.
All
Good to do
right.
that. All right. Well, on to the Raiders.
On to
Let's
the
get another win.
Raiders. All right.
Because otherwise we probably should jump through tables.
Yeah, that'd be pretty disappointing.
All right. We'll talk to you guys later.
Like Brandon Staley probably had to do after that game.
Yeah. Later, Joel.
See ya.
Later,
Yeah.
Eric. Bye.